कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशरुदेश जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. Translation can repeat. Persons who are strongly entrapped. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life. By the consciousness of enjoying material life. And who have therefore accepted. And who have therefore accepted. As their leader or guru. As their leader or guru. A similar blind man. A similar blind man. Attached to external sense objects. Attached to external sense objects. Cannot understand. Cannot understand that the goal of life is. That the goal of life is to return home. To return home, back to Godhead, and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu, as blind man guided by another blind man, miss the right path, and fall into a ditch, materially attached men, led by another materially attached man, are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again, materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. So there are very important verses. Verses started. Last verse also was very powerful. Prahlad Maharaj teaching, such deep wisdom. He's a small boy, 5 years old, but you can see how powerful realization, powerful wisdom. So in this verse, we can see that how Prahlad Maharaj is talking about the people who are misled by a false leader, how they also have a very bad destination, they fall in the ditch. So Prabhupada also quoted this very many times. This verse many times. He quoted this verse also. Like Sudarshan was saying that how the previous verse also Prabhupada quoted many times. So because it's a very important aspect, because until unless we don't have the right leader, then there is no hope. The other says in Bhagavad Gita also. So it is so important that to have a proper leader, a spiritual leader. That's why Srila Prabhupada also told, I have come to actually create the leaders, the Brahmanas, the Raja Rishis, the Brahmanas. So they are the leaders of the society actually. So until the leaders are not proper, they are not spiritual, they have no understanding of goal of life, then the praja, the citizens will not be benefited like that. So today morning I was hearing the Prabhupada lecture. So Prabhupada was saying that how the good government actually should be completely non-envious of the citizens. Means they should offer protection and they should not have any kind of partiality in terms of protection or giving facilities and anything. He should be equal to everyone. He says that just like God is equal to everyone, same way the king, the Naradev, called Naradev also, because he is representing God. He also should be equal to all. So that way, he will provide protection to every citizen. And he says, Praja does not mean just human beings. Praja, anybody who has taken birth in that country, in that land. So everybody is actually the Praja of that king. So that means the protection is for everyone. Says this. So this is the responsibility of the king. So the leader cannot be envious of anyone. Actually. Leader has to be completely non-envious, and that is only possible when he has the devotion to the Lord, because Lord is equal to us. He can also, in the same mood, he can also act that way. So, and that is only possible by being devoted to the Lord, I mean, being a spiritual leader that way. So that's how. So Prabhupada was saying that how Dhritarashtra, so he wanted to take the post. So of course he couldn't. So Pandu, because he was blind, so when his son they were there, and then Pandu died early. So then he thought, okay, anyway I could not get, so why not my sons? So here we can see that how Dhritarashtra is more interested in the post. He wanted, because his sons are there now. So why the Pandu's son should get, my son should get it. So basically, he did not have any kind of that mentality of being welfare of the citizens, to protect the citizens or do welfare of the citizens. Simply, he was interested in the post of. So the Prabhu said that's a party part. So that's what he was interested in. He was not interested in the welfare. So actually, the leader means he is interested in the welfare of citizens. That's the main purpose of the. That is the main purpose for which leader exists. That he wants to do welfare. Until he is not having this understanding that I want to do welfare of everyone, then such a person is not a proper leader. So once Mr. Sundarshan was saying that one devotee asked some question about how sometimes we have envy in our heart, but as a leader we had to serve the devotees and everything. So sometimes we may be a little partial or something you are saying that it's difficult, because they have an earth of envy also. So he went to ask Radhesham, Prabhu, how to deal, because sometimes we have our own envy, and so in the course of engaging devotees, there can be some unintentionally something may happen, some partiality, some political things may happen like that. So Radhesham told, there cannot be engaged. You may be having whatever, but then cannot act engaged. So I was like taken aback, my lord. It's a very heavy responsibility on the leader side. That being a non-envious way, he has to rule, he has to lead. And where is he lead? He has lead people to Vishnu. Gati Viduswar Gatim Vishnu. So ultimately, the leader's responsibility is that he provides all the facilities and everything, protection and opulences, whatever is required, to ultimately lead people to the real success of life. That is to the spiritual world. So that is the real Swartha. So, but people don't know what is the real Swartha. But leader has to be very fixed in understanding of the goal of life, and same thing has to teach others also. That goal should not be lost. So this is what the leader's main responsibility. And the spiritual master is the leader of all, it is said, because like Prabhu was saying that how this the Brahmanas, they don't want post actually. The Brahmanas are they are intelligent class of people, and they are very fixed in terms of their devotion to the Lord, and they have the purpose of enlightening everyone. That's the main job of a Brahman. So the Guru Varya, or the Brahminical class, that's the main job. So they are not interested in post at all. They don't want post. But the Kshatriyas, the next uh, in the social order, the administrative class, so they can take the post. But they take the post based on the guidance. I mean, they have the post, and then they act based on the guidance of Brahmana, basically. So the Kshatriyas, they actually submit to the Brahmana. So when the Brahmanas, when the Kshatriyas, they become independent, when they're not guided by the Brahmana, then such kind of Kshatriyas can create havoc. And that's the reason why Parshuram, when he came, then he 21 times, he just destroyed all the Kshatriya. So Parshuram was destroying them because they had become, against the Brahmanas, like that. So that's why administrative class should always be subordinate to Brahmin. And Brahmanas, of course, should be proper Brahmanas in terms of, they should be fixed, in the devotion to the Lord. They should not. They should be really and taking shelter of the Shastra and taking shelter of the Lord. So then the whole society will progress nicely. So here also Prabhupada is mentioning that how Prahlad Maharaj, he had Guru, they are Shantan and they are the son of the Brahmana called Shukracharya. But that, the Shukracharya is actually the Kula Guru kind of person. He is saying here, okay, what he says? He says, spiritual master has been born in the Brahmana family of Shukracharya. The word Shukra means human, and Acharya refers to teacher or Guru. hereditary gurus or spiritual masters have been accepted everywhere since time immemorial. So hereditary gurus, no? The Kul Guru kind of. But Prahlad Maharaj declined to accept such a senile guru or take instruction from him. So actual guru is Shrotriya, one who has heard or received perfect knowledge through parampara. So actually knowledge can be, the Vedas or the knowledge of the Vedas can be only given by the Lord only. The Lord only speaks this Vedic knowledge. Nobody else can give the knowledge. The knowledge is given by Lord only. So, but what is the role of a guru? The guru simply repeats the message. Guru only simply repeats the message. So he has to first hear, the Vedic knowledge from the previous acharyas, from the Supreme Lord, from the previous acharyas, and then he has to simply repeat. So if he hasn't heard or received that perfect knowledge, through parampara, then he is not a proper guru. So there is the first responsibility of the guru to himself, receive the knowledge from the proper source. So Prabhupada, this verse he put many times because that time when Prabhupada came to West, there are so many so-called gurus, so many were there, and Prabhupada would say so many incarnations, so many gurus, they were like imported from India, and many people, and actually many people from West also were looking for gurus. So they are going to India, and here also, they had many gurus and organizations, and they were getting cheated like that. So one of the very clear difference Prabhupada would always make that is those kind of gurus, they have no disciplic succession actually. They themselves have not heard or received the knowledge from any bona fide disciple. So that's always Prabhupada would emphasize. So they don't know actually the goal of life because they haven't heard from bona fide, disciple succession. So they don't know the goal of life. And they are simply interested in Bahirartha. Bahirartha means only this material world only. So like Prabhupada said, that some gurus they will say, okay, you chant this mantra and you give this much money to me, and then you will become God. Like that. So basically he wants money. That's the main thing what he wants. So like that we can say that there's so many, that time people were there. They were simply interested in some kind of material thing only. Bahirartha. But the guru is only, the real guru is only interested in Vishnu, the spiritual guru. He himself is completely fixed in this understanding that I only have one goal, return back home to Godhead, to attain love of Krishna, and he only wants his followers to also become lovers of Krishna and return back home. That's the only thing what Guru's real. So he is not here to do some kind of welfare work in terms of helping them to become materially properly situated, his followers. That is not Guru's business. The Guru's business is to see that people actually become spiritually enlightened and they go back to God. That's the main business of the Guru. Of course, the administrative class, they have to also make arrangement for, they said, protection facilities so that people can live also properly in this material world. And simultaneously take the instructions of the scriptures and go back to Godhead also that way. And you can see that this our scriptures, they are so much telling the understanding about how the spiritual world is there, and the description of the spiritual planets and what is how the spiritual world is completely free from envy. So much description is there. All these descriptions are there in the scriptures. If somebody has heard from bona fide Guru Parampara, then he can know all this information. But because they don't hear from Guru Parampara, so they don't have any information about the spiritual world. So by default, their goal will be material only, and they will only make something of the material world as their goal of life. That's very obvious. So until you don't have the information only about the spiritual world, about the ultimate success of having service to the Lord, that no understanding is there. So then how can the person actually himself be situated in that goal, and how can he guide people also? It's not possible. So so that's why it is so important to hear from bona fide then only he can understand what is spiritual world, and also he can be fixed in this goal of going back to Godhead, attaining love. So he's saying that practically everyone is unaware of the spiritual world. The knowledge of the materialist is restricted within the 4 billion mile limit of this material world, which is in the dark portion of creation. They do not know that beyond the material world is the spiritual world. Unless one is a devotee of the Lord, one cannot understand the existence of the spiritual world. So guru teachers who are simply interested in the material world are described in this verse as andha, blind. So the guru is only interested in Krishna. Sadhu or the guru is interested in Krishna and Krishna only, like that Prabhupada writes in Science and Separation. So guru, the real sadhu is interested in Krishna and only in Krishna. So such blind men may lead many other blind followers without true knowledge of material conditions, but they are not accepted by devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. So one may accept such kind of people as leaders only when one is actually in ignorance and one somehow is unfortunate or understanding the real goal of life. So these people that will not be the role model for those who know what is the real swartha. Uh, so like Prahlad Maharaj, he was a devotee. So devotee only. So devotee will not be taken like that. So Prahlad Maharaj is a devotee. He understands the real goal is not something material, but actually the spiritual goal. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is completely unaffected. He was completely fixed. So that's why a devotee of the Lord will not be cheated. There's another thing Prabhupada would say that if you are not properly reading and hearing, then we can be cheated very easily. Also, we can be misguided. We can be misled. We see in ISKCON also sometimes there are some Babajis somewhere or some organization. We see sometimes devotee also getting to here and there. One of the reason is that because we may not be properly situated devotee. Because we may be not reading Srila Prabhupada books nicely. We are not properly fixed up. So then we can easily get misled also. Like there is one Babaji, he gives a lot of nice Bhagavad Katha and everything in Vrindavan. So we have seen that how there are so many devotees also. The initial devotee also is healing. But then that Baba is also having celebrating this Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's birthday also. And he's telling Asaram Bapu is Krishna only, Rama only. Like that he's saying. And he speaks a lot of nice Bhagavad Katha and everything he says. You can see that how even a devotees can be seated like. So that shows that a devotee is not actually properly situated in the Shastra, what Srila Prabhupada has given. So that's why it is very important that we ourselves properly receive this instructions. That's why the sadhana is so important for a devotee. Because until they are not properly situated in our sadhana, their reading hearing is weak, then we will not know what is what. And then we can be easily misguided. Very easily misguided. So, and also sometimes there will be people, even in devotee association also, how to take association and everything properly. Everything Shastras can teach us. To the degree we are situated in the teachings of the Guru Parampara, to that degree we know exactly, how to sail through all this, facade of so many blind leaders and pseudo devotees, misconceptions, divergence, dilutions. He can be safeguarded. The only way is that we ourselves remain fit in the teaching, and that is there for all of us. The Srila Prabhupada book is there for all of us. Our spiritual masters, wonderful instructions are there for all of us, right? There are so many senior Vaishnavas who are, ready to give all good guidance. So everything is there, but we get misguided only because of our own fallacy. That means we ourselves are not, ready to take those instructions. So when that connection becomes weaker, that we become weak in our vertical connection to Guru Parampara, then we can easily mislead so many ways. And an illusory energy of the Lord will act to so many ways. Yeah, so many people will become our role models and they will take us towards material life. Bahirarthamani. So we will make them as our leaders. Not even after coming to devotee association also. We will continue to make them only our role models, our heroes, like that. So sometimes we may come to Krishna consciousness, we may come to ISKCON, but our leaders may not be, our role models may not be actually our guru. Our role model is still may not be proper. In theory, maybe, but in actions may not be. Because we may not be actually receiving the instructions from Srila Prabhupada, from spiritual master. And that's how, and we will be actually maintaining our submission to so many false leaders of this world. Those are only interested in something material. They're interested in material world only. That's why it is our interest that we find out those sadhus, those true leaders who are not interested in material world. They're only interested in spiritual world. And take their association, take their teachings, Basically, those were in group and our spiritual master and senior Vaishnavas were properly separated by hearing in disciple section. They properly separated. They themselves have received instructions and they're very clear. So when we make them our role models and have our actions as per their guidance, then we will also be actually progressing towards the spiritual world. So I'll pause here. Any suggestions, comments, questions? Till the order opens.
Today's class inspired me to think side of the past. Planning to read prayer practice. Yeah, let's go through vulnerable living entity. Fights. We are prone to getting carried away with sleep. We get interest stories of people who have the knack to latest story or somebody written it. In the process of doing that, we often what the acharyas have done is really impressive. Delivered what can be delivered.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Namaste.